right, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Central Texas, where we think more expansively, love more completely, and live more joyously. And thank you to Glenda for a lovely meditation this morning. There you go. There you go.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. Yes, we are. You damn right, she said. All right. So let's start by saying our opening affirmation on the top of page 4 to come together in consciousness and kick this thing off in a good way. And it says, we believe that there is an infinite power and wisdom that creates everything. We are expressions of the same power and wisdom. The thoughts, beliefs, and expectations we entertain with the most energy become our experience of life. When we change our energy and our attention, our experience changes to match. And the only birthday we have on the list was Patrice Maltus, which was actually yesterday, so happy birthday to Patrice. Yay. All right. And today we are celebrating the birth of Werner von Trapp.
Von Trapp,
The Van Trapp singers, yeah, exactly. All right. Also, Paul no, he was not. He was not a Nazi. So he was a yesy. Yes. If he's not a Nazi, he's a yesy. Anyway, or is he a Yahtzee? I don't know. Anyway. Paul Winchell, you may not recognize that name, but dig this. He did many things. He was now I'm going to blank out on one of them. He was a...
two of the many.
Something, he did something, and then he invented the mechanical heart.
Wow. He
He was the voice of one of the chipmunks. He was also the voice of Tigger in Winnie the Pooh. And he was an acupuncturist. And I thought, what an interesting life this guy's led. Yeah, so interesting guy all over the place. Also, Phil Donahue, Jane Fonda, my own favorite, Frank Zappa. Carl Wilson of the Boys, Paco de Lucia of the guitar, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Evert, and Kiefer Sutherland. Next week, we are exploring things. Wait, in case you missed that.
Yes.
All right. How quick does life change? That quick. How quick does our life change? That quick. Good morning. So come and enjoy the burning bowl ceremony, where we'll take a look at our future, what we desire out of life, what's standing in the way of that, and then letting those things get in perspective and gathering a sense of empowerment. Then right after that, from 12:30 to 1:30, I'll be leading a regular spiritual practice workshop. And even if you have one, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of different flavors you can include in your ice cream sundae that makes your day sweeter and makes your life more enjoyable. So check that out. I'd like to invite Glenda to come up and do an opening reading and treatment.
Okay. From the Science of Mind article by Ernest Holmes in our Science of Mind magazine, this is on Reflections on Christ and Christmas. He says, Christmas is for remembrance. The love manifested through our gifts to each other typifies the offering of life, the givingness of spirit to its creation. The hands of the eternal are outstretched through our hands, and the heart of the infinite beats in the human breast. But the giver must give of themselves, for the gift without the giver is bare. It is not enough to give money to a great cause. Only those who give of themselves, withhold nothing, understand giving. The gifts of Christmas. For we are the Christ in Christmas. Each and every one of us is a living Christ, a living example. And knowing this, we know that there is one life, one infinite presence, one love, one joy, one peace, one power, one presence, and it is in each and every one of us. No matter what the appearance, no matter what the words, no matter what, the face of God is always there, waiting to be revealed. And we are the givers. We are the givers of peace and joy and all those characteristics that are within us. As we give them, we become them. We live them. So we are the gifts at Christmas. What we give to each and every person, what we give as we give in our thoughts to the world, as we give in our thoughts to each other, as we give from our abundance. For we are truly abundant. And a lot of times we don't even know this. We don't know that we are healthy and wealthy and rich and alive with spirit. So I know for each and every one of us in this community, as we open up our doors and our hearts to each other, to others out there looking for something, that we have something within us. There is one thing, one path, one life. And we are living it. We are on it. We are it. We are truly God in expression. And so today, as we have wonderful music and a wonderful message, and we are here for each other as we care and share, I know that we are infinite beings of light, and we share our light and our love and our joy and our grief and our everything. For we are one. So we release these words into the mind of God that knows all, is all, does all, right here, right now. And so it is. Okay, so let's start this party with Jimmy George and his music.
Thanks for having me.
Top of the hill, the forest was greener than azure it seemed. The dew from the morning stood still. The sun came from night into day, shedding light where I stand on a mountain and land, bringing me to my knees. Came here from there to escape. The journey was long, thank God for the songs in the air filled my head, made me sane. Tired for rest, I pushed on with the best that I had, leading back what I chose in the life that I know. I'm not dreaming, though I'm barely awake. Something tells me that I have made a mistake, and I know everything will be alright. Sure, everything will be alright. Held on to what I cannot keep. He slipped away like the night into day. Continue to search what I seek. light takes my wings, to the winds I will sing, and the mountains let go of my feet. I let go of rain. I'm not dreaming, though I'm barely awake. Something tells me that I have made a mistake. I'm not dreaming, though I am barely awake. Something tells me that I have made a mistake. And I know everything will be alright. Shows everything will be alright. And I know everything will be alright. And it shows everything will be alright. I went to the top of the hill. The forest was greener than Asher it seemed. The dew from the morning stood still. As the sun came from night into day, shedding light, where I stand on the mountain and land, bringing me to my knees.
All right, thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Never detected an Irish brogue in your voice before.
Yeah. I need to get up there and check out that scene in Ireland. I like that kind. Thanks.
Did anybody else hear that? I mean,
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
I just,
Some
all
Celtic. All right.
right,
Okay.
good. All right. How many jazz musicians does it take to change a light bulb? A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
How many Broadway dancers does it take to change a light bulb? A 5, 6, 7, 8. How many Grateful Dead fans does it take to change a light bulb? None. They just let it burn out and follow it around for decades. All right. Yes, yes, yes. We conclude our Let the Light In series that we started a few weeks ago this morning. And we started by acknowledging that light has long been a metaphor for spiritual awakening, growth, and evolution. And light is essential to the continuation of life. And as an individualization of life, that means light is essential to us. Just as our growth in awareness and understanding benefits us and benefits all those around us. And to be able to live more deeply and engage the life and those around us more deeply and in more meaningful ways, we must do the work to do the things and invest the time and the resources to get ourselves more present and aware, become more self-aware, more perceptive of all that's going on around and within us. And when we do that, we tend to reduce the amount of fear and ego that's predominant in the forefront of our engagement of this thing called life. Now, I say reduce the amount of ego and fear because it's never going away. We're not going to be able to eliminate it entirely. They're both hardwired into us. So you know that I believe things that are hardwired into us don't need to be changed necessarily because we're not going to be able to change them, right? So we don't have to completely eliminate ego and fear in order for us to express and more consistently, authentically, and creatively express the divine within and around us. And we also started or continued with some alteration our spiritual practice of emanating love, and then we started emanating gratitude in November, and this month we've been emanating light, right? Emanating light as we get out of the car, as we walk into the store, as we walk around the store and do whatever we're there to do, and then emanating light as we leave, okay? Again, any spiritual practice benefits us whilst we are doing it, most certainly, but also we and those around us benefit afterwards from the positive energy that we generate from the doing of it, but also it continues to ripple out and express throughout the rest of the living of our lives. And that's why we keep our spiritual practice what?
Daily.
Regular, or daily or regular, whichever, okay? So that multiple times a day, or at least each day, we're refocusing our energy and attention on large, expansive ideas and practices. So that by doing that, we fill and refill and rejuvenate the wells of positive energy that we will later draw upon when needed throughout the rest of our lives. And we also last week looked at the importance of lighten up, please, lighten up. Now, y'all don't know that song, and you probably don't want to after that, but it's still a great thing by David Liebman that's stuck in my head, obviously, from the 80s, and still rattling around up there. But we looked at lifting our energy and our attention and lightening up our mood, our perspective, and our expectations, so that what we're contributing to the collective mix is lighter and more life-affirming and expansive. A win-win, as they say. And today, the pièce de résistance, as we look at the incredible lightness of being. Now, I've had this title for several weeks, thinking about this series, but I actually went back and looked where this title came from. The memory I had of this title was from a film from the 80s that was actually called The Unbearable Lightness of Being. And it reminds me of two things. First, that obviously my memory isn't infallible by any stretch of the imagination. And second, that it won't ever be infallible, so it must not be necessary for it to be infallible for me to express the divine within me more completely. I will always be able to pull up something that will assist me in what I'm trying to do here and now. Even if it's not exactly right, if it's not exactly accurate, I can draw from it what I need in this moment. Now, the movie itself was about life being experienced and enjoyed and then being catastrophically interrupted by geopolitical upheaval, which really is how all life is lived. No, we don't individually, here in our experience of life, experience Soviet military invasions like that was in the movie, okay? That level of interruptions is not what we experience, but we do all have our status quo interrupted on a regular basis. Our familiarity and comfort with our definition of what status quo is eternally being interrupted by the introduction of new ideas and opportunities, sometimes by the reintroduction of old ideas and opportunities, or the ideas and opportunities of those that we know and love, and the ideas and opportunities of those that are complete strangers. All those ideas and opportunities impinge upon the repetition of our beliefs and behaviors, which then interrupts or then maintains our status quo when we keep doing it. Which reminds us that the one constant in life is change. Exactly right. Good. Everything, everywhere, everyone, every place, every situation is in a constant state of flux and change. Ourselves, those that we know and love, and everything else around us, all constantly changing. And life is eternally filling the forms that we provide it to fill, and then moving on to the next forms that either we or those around us provide for it to fill. And since that continual state of change is never going to stop, again, that must mean it's not necessary for it to stop in order for us to express the divine within us more completely, more consistently, and more authentically. And the sooner we figure this out, the sooner we will stop being anxiously and egotistically attached to things and people and places, remaining exactly the same in order for it to be considered good or helpful to our current experience. It's what the Buddhists teach us when they talk about acceptance, accepting what is. Okay? This acceptance of what is leads us to relax, allows us to be more present, which facilitates expanded perspective and an expanded field of possibilities, which in turn facilitates us just going with the flow and releasing what was and taking stock of our current resources and creatively choosing how to combine all that so that it moves us more easily and more effortlessly and more compassionately in the direction that we desire to go and what we desire to experience. Now, that's one way to explain the process. Another way would be to say that the quantum field is reacting to whatever we give it to work with, and whatever we expect becomes our reality. Now, our reality is our reality. How it looks, how it is for somebody else may be completely different because of their expectations, and the quantum field still operates the same way for them. Arthur Conan Doyle, anyway, whatever his name was, it may be that you're not yourself luminous, but that you are a conductor of light. You might say, yeah, I am a beacon of light. I am a lighthouse. I am a sun shining. And sometimes, depending on what's going on in your experience or in your attitude or in your identity, you might say, man, that doesn't really feel like that to me. Okay. You don't have to be the emanator of light. Maybe you're just the reflector of light. Like Edith, somebody said last week, and the quote was, you can focus on being the candle or the mirror that reflects the light, right? So being this adaptive, this flexible, facilitates our lightening up and being more present and aware, which is always preferable to hopelessly fighting that things remain exactly the same, that the song remain the same, right? Or precisely match our adamant preferences as the one and only definition of being good. I mean, good is omnipresent, which means that whatever is or isn't, good is still present and available when we do the things and believe the things and keep doing the things that keep us present and available to it. So being light, by lightening up, opens us up to greater, more expansive possibilities, and also makes our journey from here to there, from this to that, from now to then, more enjoyable, which further lightens us up and lightens up what we're contributing to the collective mix. So it's a win-win. Dr. William Shakespeare, or Sir William Shakespeare, how far did that little candle throws his beams? So shines a good deed in a weary world. I don't know, but let me ask you a non-rhetorical question. Could the world use more good deeds right about now? Yeah, I think so, right? That's why our spiritual practice of emanating light as we're going about the living of our life, just being a sun shining, is so timely, because it lifts others up without their knowledge or their permission. We don't need their knowledge or permission. It's not about whether they see it and reciprocate or appreciate it or not. It's about our shining. Which begs the question, to light or not to light? Sorry for the appropriation, Sir William. But like everything else in our life, it is a choice. It is. And the more we choose light and love and peace and beauty and joy, the easier it is for us to become, the easier it becomes for us to choose light and life and peace and beauty and joy and all the rest. You know, if you really pay attention, or whether you don't pay attention, it doesn't take much of anything for us to be alive, right? Not in the bigger scheme of things, not in our modern world. We don't have to go out and seek food and water and shelter every single day, right? We are very well provided for. And I understand there's room for improvement for lots of other places in the world, but our current experience is this. And we can end up making very debilitating choices, both physically and mentally and emotionally and even spiritually, and life will still find a way to work around our knuckleheadedness, and quite a lot for quite a while. And living is almost so automatic that we tend to take it for granted because we don't have to think a lot about it. Our heart beats, our liver livers, our kidneys kidney. Whatever they need to do, that happens. Until it doesn't, I understand. But for the most part, it does. And we tend to think it'll always be that way and that it'll always be so. Like a lot of things in life, the way life provides for us. So Roy Bennett shares with us, to shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are. Okay. Now we come to the practical part of the talk. I want to offer you yet another spiritual practice. I know there's a lot, but there's a lot. So there's a lot of ways to do this. And this is a meditation on simply being alive. Okay? Good meditation. All right, so everybody just take a moment, relax, chill out, take a breath, close your eyes, whatever you need to do to become a little bit more present and aware. And stop doing everything, stop focusing on anything except for this activity right here, right now. For the time being, there is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you have to do. Just be present. Just be aware for the sake of being present and aware. And just settle into this activity and relax and focus upon a word, whether it's life or live, like being alive, or live in the moment. Whichever, because all of them work, doesn't matter. Like any other mantra that you'll use in meditation, the particulars of the word or the words don't matter as much as being present during the practice. And the purpose of the mantra is to help you return to the present moment and feel centered. And just focus your attention on being. Just being. Just being present. Just being present in this moment. Being alive, being aware, and being aware enough to realize that you are alive, awake, aware in this moment. Again, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, nothing to say, just be. And take another deep breath and let that out at your own pace. And fully experience what it means to just be. No stress, no trying to achieve anything, just be. And appreciate how effortless this is. Appreciate how you are supplied with everything you need to be doing this. You are currently experiencing and personally experiencing the incredible lightness of being. share a quote from Dr. Holmes, our founder. It says, "It seems that in all forms of healing, all that can be done is to let an inner light flow to restore us to our original pattern of perfection." Now marinate in this, because this is your true nature. You don't need to add anything. You are perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic, just as you are. With all that's happened previously and all that is still to happen, with all the triumphs and the disappointments along the way, you are still here, right now, being fully present in this moment, being as spiritual and as evolved as you ever need to be. Just choosing to focus on this beingness, this enoughness, this perfection, just as you are. And here's the really cool thing. You can return to this experience, this sense, this awareness of being, this experience of being, this lightness of being, anytime you so choose. Even during your busiest day, or when things are not going according to your preferences, you can recall a glimpse of this relaxing, empowering, expansive feeling and experience just by briefly closing your eyes or taking one deep breath. Because this is always available, anywhere, anytime. Because this is you. This is the real you. The true you that you take with you from this moment and this deeper experience of you and all that you are. You take this with you into every moment, every experience, every expression still to come. Because again, this is you. This is you, and this is enough to perceive and engage and enjoy and share this deep and amazing and wonderful good that you are, that life is, that is always available. And this morning you've made yourself available to this level of good, to this experience of good. And like I said, you can choose at any time, in any place, in any circumstance, to recall and bring back this level of good, love, peace, beauty, joy. Bring it forward into a place of greater predominance in your attention, your identity, your expressions, your expectations of what's next, both individually and collectively. Take one more moment to fully anchor in the memory of this. Just allow this good, this light, to make a lasting impression, a stable, easily recalled memory. That's it. This is good. This is who you really are, your divine essence. All right. Now everybody come back. Come back, come back. All right. Good? Yeah. You know, how hard is that? Not very. Do you need me up here reciting the holy words? No. You have that within you at all times. Available to you as much as you allow it to be available to you. Dr. Holmes goes on. He says, through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power which is greater than anything we shall ever contact. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed, and prosperous in a new light and a new life. So, the next time you observe yourself throwing a tantrum, internally or externally, and I will quit globalizing this. I can only talk about my own personal experience. When I observe myself throwing a tantrum because things are different, or things are different than I expected, I just have started reminding myself to lighten up. Lighten up, please, lighten up. Okay? Now, I have the benefit of that song being stuck in my head and knowing what it is. You only need to know to lighten up, okay? Whatever it is that works for you to do that, okay? Because you can do this and you can keep doing this. Because here's the thing, and there's really no getting around it. You're still going to have some experiences from now until moving forward. The time's going to pass anyway. People will or won't contribute or participate in helpful ways or not. Things and places and people will always be changing from what we know and like and what we're used to into whatever and wherever their next sequence of choices takes them. And maybe that means they'll still accompany us and cooperate with our preferences. And maybe, just maybe, that means they won't. And that's okay too. Either way, we're living our life, having our experience based upon what we choose to focus upon as we move through and continue to move forward. The big question becomes how present and aware you'll be moving through those experiences and moving through that time. The lighter, the more life-affirming and expansive that material is that we're drawing upon and focusing upon, the more positive and conducive to greater good our choices are or will continue to be. And the better time we're going to have along the way. Lighten up and help others lighten up. And before too long, we've illuminated our surroundings and we've helped others to illuminate their surroundings. And pretty soon the whole place is full of light. We can see and perceive more and more good right where we are, and we focus and refocus upon that good. And life or law or quantum field, whatever, responds consistently, concurrently, completely, and immediately by bringing our attention to ever greater good and then tons and tons of more good beyond that. We're always at choice, man, as to what we're going to expect and what we'll end up seeing based upon what we focus upon now and next. And choosing good, choosing love, choosing light, and appreciating it all in this very moment improves this moment for us and improves this moment for everyone around us as well. And doing this lightens up the energy we feel, the energy we magnify and emanate to all those around us. And that ripples out and then keeps rippling out. And that wave of good, of love, of gratitude, of peace, of beauty, of joy grows with each additional ripple until it becomes a tsunami of good, lifting up and elevating all. And so it is now. Thank you. All right. Let's now look at our weekly affirmation, which is on the top of page 6 in your programs, and it says, light, love, good of every kind is as available to me as I keep myself ever available to it. I focus upon light in this and each moment still to come. That one shift affects every other part of my perception, identity, attitude, and paradigm for the better and makes all better. However you say that. All right, let's give ourselves the gift of our good attention in this moment again. Just slip back into where you just were. That sense of awareness, that sense of infinite possibility as we start to grasp and experience, personally experience, the infinite nature of life, and as an individualization of life, the infinite nature of our life, which helps us expand all the possibilities of what we believe is available to us, what we believe is possible by means of us, what we expect to happen now and next because of that. we start to see that light and love and good of every kind is omnipresent, and it's available to us whenever we make ourselves and keep ourselves and do the things that keep us available to it. Just focusing upon light. It's a simple thing. It's easy to remember. We can put a sticky note on our car dashboard, on our mirror, in our bathroom, in the computer screen or whatever to remind us. Just think about it. Focus on it for a little bit and notice how that shifts and changes your attitude, your perception, your identity, your paradigm for the better. And that's how we get through the tough times in our life and the wonderful times in our life and all the rest of our life in a more loving and compassionate and infinite way. Deeply appreciate this wonderful teaching in all the ways it shows up in our lives and reminds us of the spiritual principles and the tools that we have to direct those principles in beneficial ways for ourselves and to make a positive difference in the world. We love and appreciate this community of like-minded individuals that love and support each other in all the ways we get to do that. We deeply appreciate this time together this morning, this beautiful day and this beautiful life that we get to share and experience more deeply and in more meaningful ways than ever before. Loving all of this. We deeply appreciate it. We celebrate the changes that have started here and that will continue as we continue to refocus upon light and love and good and peace and power and beauty and joy as we move forward from this moment to the rest of our days moving forward. Loving it all, we release it completely into the law of cause and effect that has already begun to respond and reflect and bring our attention to greater ideas and more expansive and life-affirming possibilities and interactions. In creative ways we can combine what is with what else is available right here. Loving it all, we release it completely as we say together. And so it is now. All right. Thank you very, very much. Let's say our giving affirmation, because now is the time when we support this wonderful work we're doing with the value we bring to the world for the value, what we receive from the world for the value we bring to the world, and move on. Let's say our divine giving affirmation, and it says, divine love consecrates my gifts. They go forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. They are evidence of my commitment. They do their good and perfect work and return to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is now. All right, and now Jimmy's going to do a couple of other songs for us. Are you playing anywhere we can come see you?
Let's see, I will be, on the 26th, I'll be at the Madame Mam's Vietnamese restaurant at Brody Lane.
Oh, that's where the, okay, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful food.
Brody and Slaughter,
That's the 26th of this day after Christmas Day.
like in the evening?
Yeah, 6:30 to 9:30.
6:30,
Thanks
okay.
for having me. It's
Yeah,
an honor to
thank
be
you.
here with you all.
smile on her face, each by the silence, apart from the race. And time brings stories, and streams bring her song. The angel of glory protects her from wrong. She sings on. Pockets of your trust, carried oh so long, simple inside of each passing town. The rules not to settle for what you might have found as you sing on. Sing on. Drink on your whiskey, spiritual drink. Smile at the eyes, waiting to blink. Why is not a question, everything is fair. It's all just a lesson. Take you from here. Sure.
Hey, one more.
Sure. Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. There comes a time when you give in to what you know. You look where they hide in the bushes beneath the snow. Proud to be on again, you're on again, off again, and in the end, things turn around when the music's your friend. There comes a time when around the block turns the clock. You can sit down, feel the heat from the turning back. Placing the notes from the faces and ghosts in the maze where we go. Scanning the sky for a sign to get by. Caught on the ledge between coming in and the end. You caught for the right to be on again, 'cause you're off again, baby, in the end. Things turn around, things turn around, things turn around when the music's your friend.
comes a time when you give in to what you know. Amen.
Amen.
Hell yeah, as we like to say, right? All right. All right. And now we come to moments of gratitude or expansive living that we've demonstrated through the application of these principles. I would like to say happy solstice to everybody, because that is this day. And remember, we are requesting your input for our theme for next year. And if you have a color you'd like to recommend for the color of the year, please include that. And you might say, well, I don't have anything. Well, just pay attention. You've got something that, like if it was 2 or 3 words, some kind of affirmation or, noun, verb, adjective, verb, or definitely some kind of verb, so it's an active idea. But just, pay attention to that and figure out what that looks like for you. And, there is no judgment. It's like we'll get together, we'll come up with some finalists, and then we'll choose the one that works. And also, if you noticed the carpet outside this morning, yeah, the non-carpet, which is an indicator that it's getting closer to time for us. We're thinking probably 6 weeks-ish might be the time we have this room available to us, and then we move on to the next iteration of this, whatever it looks like, wherever it happens to be. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you know of a place that's open on Sunday morning or has a back room in someplace or something, a space that's not being used because it's corporate, they don't need it on Sunday morning, let's check it out, see what we can figure out. I'm also grateful that I had my dog scan this week, cat scan, I said I wanted to see my valve because I'd heard that it was very shiny, and what the pictures show is like when you have metal in you on a CAT scan, it sparkles. And so they said, here's the metal where they put your sternum back together from cracking you open. But when you go down to the thing, that she says they must have used like metal sutures or something so that it wouldn't dissolve. Or I'm going to ask him when I see him on the 5th. But that was like the image hit it and it went. It was just like fireworks, man. It was very cool looking. So, anyway, so I'm grateful for all that. But most of all, I'm grateful for all of you that make this possible, for all of us in all the ways that you show up. And grateful to Tom and Clark that show up early, and Gwenda and Josephine that show up early to set up things, get things ready so we can do this, and then the technical platforms we have to spread this out to other people that aren't able to be here or choose to remain in their jammies, which I get it, I get it. So grateful for that, but thank you to all of you for making this a thing and possible and sustainable. So thank you, God, for that. And anybody else have something? Yes, Tom?
I'm just grateful for my health. I was a little under the weather last week. And I learned by that to appreciate how good it feels to feel good again. And yes, I know it.
Yeah.
I stole the line. Robert Earl King.
Sure.
Feeling good again.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was kind of a difficult week. I didn't do some of the stuff I wanted to do. But now, feeling better and
Yeah, you can.
feeling good, feeling good.
Yeah,
Great.
good. You got that. Yeah, Terry?
Well, I did owe that because I was out sick last week too. We had the same crud, and I'm starting to feel normal again. And starting to release the guilt of not working out every day. And anyway, but because I wasn't here last week, and I know Linda is with me on this one, I am so grateful for Raoul Mallow and his music and the impact it's had on me. And Tucker Livingston was saying last night that he saw Joe Ely in September, and Joe Ely also passed away. Deeply grateful for him. that Joe Ely said to him that songs have wings, and we were saying music, music lifts you, and that is what Raoul Maller's music did for me, and Joe Ely's music, and all music does for me, but the Mavericks and Raoul Maller, I mean, what genius.
What a beautiful blowing.
What an impact he's had on so many people. The appreciation of music and appreciating a diverse, just so much different kind of music. He never put it in a box because it was just so expansive and diverse, and I'm so grateful for that.
Well
Yeah.
said.
Cool. All right, there you go.
Oh, and my health.
Yeah, well, we're appreciative of that for you. Yes, Clark?
We have this reverse osmosis water system, 5 filters and that kind of stuff. And it was starting to slow down, let's say, put out less pressure and blah, blah. So I called up Culligan with the, the service provider, and so they sent out a technician, and you never know who you're going to get. I mean, it's always somebody different. In this case, it was a very nice technician. He's a young black man, he's about 29. So, he was so courteous and engaging, and knew what he was doing, and all this kind of stuff. We had a great conversation, while he was working, and found out something about his situation where he wants to improve his life, and I told him, that he's a very engaging, has a very engaging personality, and he should be able to choose and do anything. The possibilities for him are wide open. I did touch on the point, about being a practitioner, and I don't like to get into too much weeds with that, just to let him know that there is this power available to us. And if he would like me to do an affirmative prayer for his situation, I'll be glad to. And he bought into it very, very engagingly, and he asked if he could copy my phone number on this, on this text thing, and sure, so I told him that you won't know when I'm doing this, because I'm not going to call you up and ask you how things are going, and but just keep an open mind, open heart, and notice the changes that come around you, or what's offered to you in your life. So I've done a couple of treatments and over last week, and now I don't know what I can't say what his experience is, per se, but he may call me at some point. It's not important whether he does or not. It's just his receptivity seems to be good. So I'm just glad, to find people that are open to these ideas and possibilities that they represent, and they get the opportunity to help in the way that I can.
Yeah.
So thank you
Cool.
for that.
Thank you. All right, there you go. Yeah, and it's just like the emanating light practice. You do it, and you don't have to wait for any response or validation or something. It's about you doing it. And I was thinking about this week, about the quantum. I've been looking into this. And it's like, why does treatment work? It's like, well, on a quantum level, we introduce a new idea, a new identity, a new set of possibilities to somebody else. And a lot of times, it's not like when I go to my practitioner, David, in Atlanta, he doesn't tell me anything I don't know, but it's just the fact or the practice of keeping myself open to other possibilities. And that shift, sometimes we hear it from somebody, when somebody else tells us the truth about ourselves, sometimes it lands better than when we try to tell ourselves the truth about ourselves, right? I don't know why, because we've got all of our stuff and our story and our whatever that we work through. But or that we're processing, but, when somebody else tells us good about ourselves or sees expansive things for us, like I said, it lands differently, and I think that changes what they're expecting or their belief about their life and what it could, can, is, will be. And the quantum field responds to that, and that becomes their reality. So there's a lot of ways to slice and dice it. It doesn't really matter. Do I care whether it's the subconscious or the quantum field? I just care that it works. That's really the bottom line. Anyway, we're getting into talk number 2 for the day, and we have lunch plans. Or I'm supposed to pick up salad on the way. Anyway, so let's look at next week. We will have the burning bowl ceremony, and for those of you, it will not be broadcast on Facebook and YouTube because it doesn't really translate to that. So be here or be square and experience it for yourself, and then stay after for the workshop, regular spiritual practice workshop. And I'm just going to provide a bunch of different, in an hour we can't go deep into each practice, but there's a lot of different ways to meditate. There's a lot of different things we can do that, and the purpose of it is just to offer a cafeteria, and you take your tray down the line and say, I'd have some of that, and I'll try that. And it's not that you do this for the rest of your life, it's that you see there's a lot of different ways that get us to the same place. That's all it really is. So I invite you to check that out. And we will be resuming our book study group in January, so if you have something you'd like. I checked out one book that is really interesting, but it is really long and deep, and it would take us a year to go through it. So anyway, if you have a suggestion, certainly let us know, and we'll look at that. All right, let's say our closing affirmation as I close everything up, and I've already left the room. And it says on page, look at opportunities for application in your life. How can you choose light more often and more easily? By choosing light and keeping it as an option in any circumstance. Choose light now and later, consider it often, and help others see it as a possible here, there, and everywhere. All right? The closing affirmation, say this together. I am an expression of infinite, divine, creative intelligence. Knowing a joyful serenity awaits my recognition and acceptance, I take this moment to deepen my understanding that I am perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. My soul is forever established in life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. I lift my eyes to the divine in me, in those around me, and in all of life. I walk out into the world with an uplifted heart and a mind open to the infinite creativity of all life. And so it is now. All right, thank you very, very much, and we will see you all next time. Oh,
There's pecans in the back.
pecans are in the back. Okay. Back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, yes, enjoy.
You might
And you're
check
welcome to
with
come back next week for our birthday.
Brilliant guy. Really
I'm really
interesting
thinking
Blown
from
away.
doggone fibrillation.
It certainly can. Let's get some of this.
I think,
Here.
we come from somewhere, so he's led a pretty rugged life, he's very centered these days, he's got a guy south
I
on the
never
farm.
would have given the car.
Back to turn for a second, Trevor,
Toyota.
he might have shared with you,
If I
he's
didn't have that
he's had sleep
Yeah,
apnea.
it's got a
So part of the issue,
Lose a little weight.
Can't live with
yeah,
it.
he's,
Yep.
But,
he's working on that
I
too.
feel bad
And,
about it,
he's
so-
good. He's good. Getting